license, several services can be available.
Hello and welcome. This is the Market Wrap. I'm Agam Vakil. Well, we have seen a little more weakness coming through for the benchmark indices, with the Nifty, well, coming off by around 0.5% and closing exactly at 10,600. Now, in terms of gainers and losers, what we are seeing is Dr. Reddy is advancing by 6.5%, and we're going to talk about that in a little detail. We have Grasim Industries, Yes Bank and Bajaj Finserv, along with Bajaj Finance and Axis Bank also advancing. So the financials are showing up some amount of strength after seeing weakness yesterday. Don't forget, the Indian oil sector in general has also advanced due to that overnight fall in crude prices. On the losing end, we do have, well, unexpected lines. Weakness in IT stocks. This is, of course, the money markets were shut today, but we are anticipating a little more weakness in the Indian rupee, which is why we've seen more fall in the IT stocks and strength, I mean by that, pardon me. And of course, Reliance Industries and Bajaj Auto are among the others which have also bearing down on the indices. I reckon Reliance Industries along with Bajaj Auto will be one of the top counters which will be bearing down with respect to weightage on the Nifty. Now, when it comes to the NSE 500, very evenly poised, though I would say a little more than one gainer as against a loser on the NSE 500. Philips Carbon Black standing out in trade, and we also have Minda Corp. We're going to talk about Minda Corp as well in a bit. Rupa and Company standing out and gaining 6-7%. Jayaprakash Associates, Viara Logistics, and on the losing end, once again, Jindal Stainless showing some weakness, followed by DCM Shriram, Radico Khaitan, and HCC, of course, looking at a little bit of reversal there as well. So on the whole, it's been fairly evenly poised if you discount the way we've seen the benchmark indices moving. But let's get a perspective here from a market editor, Neeraj Shah. Neeraj, hi. Well, turnovers were largely average from what I could make out. What are you making of these?
Yeah, the F&O turnover marginally higher, ahead of the Bank Nifty weekly options expiry as well. So that was, yeah, but you're right. By and large, the cash turnover was very ordinary as well. Let's just see if there's a bit of a trend reversal of sorts on the flows front or no. That's the interesting thing. Yesterday was probably one of the first days in the last many that we saw a bit of a reversal on the flows side. So today, in that sense, would also be something that you watch out for. But by and large, a par for the course kind of a day. No major surprises. The world markets are soft. We'd expect it to be soft. We actually did fairly better if the Nifty Bank is to be believed. So par for the course, I guess. Not too much to add, really. A lot of stock-specific moves, and I guess we'll probably be doing that and be range-bound until the G20 summit is out of the way. I reckon until then, really doubtful to see if the world markets can have a meaningful uptick in a trend fashion compared to what we've seen in the recent past. So I guess until November 29th or November 30th, stay like that. Tomorrow is anyways the last day in a truncated week. So doubt that, except for the volumes, we'll see some dramatic movements unless the world markets collapse again today.
Right, well, it's going to be about global cues then in that case.
Just one quick interesting thing. I was talking to Mark Matthews on the show, and just talking to him about how India would be placed in a scenario when crude prices have come off versus the fact that the global markets are coming off. And I think almost everybody's made that one common point that in a time when the world markets come off dramatically, very doubtful that even if the macros are favorable, we'll see a big pullback into India.
Right.
So maybe just time with the world markets.
Right. Well, there you have it. Neeraj, thank you for that perspective here. So, that's what you have with respect to the way we can expect the markets to move. And we have seen that consolidation come through. But what about technicals? What are analysts telling us about the levels? This is what they're saying. Listen it.
In near term, this range of 10,550 to 10,800 could be seen till expiry, that is for next few trading sessions. So accordingly, we are advising to go long on Nifty futures at current levels, which is around 10,650, and simultaneously sell 2 lots of 10,800 call, which is because since 10,800 is a major resistance, we think that it won't be crossed in this expiry. So 10,800 call option 2 lots could be sold, which would fetch in premium of about 60 rupees, combined premium of 60 rupees. The stop loss on this strategy would be 10,550 on Nifty futures, whereas on the higher side, in case if we see this Nifty approaching the higher end around 10,750, 10,800, one can look to book profits over there.
I would play Nifty with option. I would recommend selling a 10,500 put option which in case if Nifty consolidates to the current range, as what Richard mentioned, we are going to make money. If at all we see a bounce back in Nifty, even then we are going to make money. So I would recommend selling a 10,500 put for target of for 20 rupees to 15 rupees, and keep a stop loss of 60 rupees.
Well, there was a stock which stood out in today's day of trade, the top Nifty loser, Dr. Reddy's. And we have Darshan Mehta, who's now joining us to give us an update on the same. Darshan, what do you have?
Yeah, it moved up 6% given the fact that overnight news coming in that it won a litigation against Endeavor for a drug called Suboxone. So just to give you a perspective, Suboxone is a $1.8 billion drug. As per the IMS sale, the branded sale is close to $900 million, and Dr. Reddy's is the only generic of this drug apart from Endeavor. So what happened in the first quarter, Dr. Reddy's launched this drug at risk, and they sold it for 2 days before the courts again struck it down and stopped them for selling. So in the 2 days, they sold $25 million worth of drug. In the second quarter, they didn't sell anything, given the fact that this was under litigation. Now, yesterday, they got the approval, and Dr. Reddy's in a statement said that they are again restarting supply. So that's a positive thing, because the second quarter numbers were weak, especially as far as the US markets are concerned, and the management said that they need these approvals to come in for the revenue growth to come in. Most of the brokerages have come out with positive notes. They said that Dr. Reddy's will make anywhere between $90 to $100 million sales on this drug, and EPS, EPS of anywhere between 30 to 50 rupees per share. 20 to 30 rupees per share is something that's been spoken about. If Dr. Reddy is the sole player in it, it could go up as high as 60 to 70 rupees. So that's what's been spoken about.
Right, Darshan, thank you for those details. So watch out for Dr. Reddy's. But if you leave Dr. Reddy's out, there were a bunch of other stocks which are also in focus. And we have Sharad Dubey now joining us to give us an update on the same. So Sharad, what's on your list today?
Well, the first stock I've taken is Dewan Housing Finance. So first we see the price movement. The result was coming in at around 2 o'clock. The results actually were beating the profit estimates, and it landed at around 4.24%. It increased. So basically, the net interest income was up by almost 58.7% at rupees 1,075 odd crores, and even the net profits zoomed past the 52% mark. But one thing you should know is that provisions have increased by almost 46% to around 133 odd crore rupees. The second stock which I have been looking is Premier Explosives. If you can say, the stock has hit almost 16.4% up today, based on the news recently that the company had acquired arms license, which it will manufacture propellant as well as ammonium perchlorate, which will be useful in making cartridges. The third stock which I have picked up is Minda Corp. If you can zoom in over here, the stock has ended by almost increasing by almost 7.3% today. So basically, the company has reduced its stake in a joint venture with Japanese-based company Furukawa Group. The stake has reduced from 51% to 25%.
Right, Sharad, thank you so much for joining us and getting us those details. So a bunch of stocks out there which we can keep an eye on as we move into trade tomorrow based on the volumes and the price jump. But with that, it's a wrap on the markets, but lots more lined up, so stay tuned to Bloomberg Quint.